live to understand that this software is too sophisticated for two distillers. We have over here the OG of distilling, OG Distillery. His name is Max, and I believe he is the top distiller out there. Definitely out where he is in Iowa. If you're on a road trip this summer, make sure you stop by. And Max, like his name, is the max you could get in this industry. He's awesome. He knows his stuff like nobody else. And without further ado, Max, tell us a little bit about your place, about all those bottles behind you, the rustic feel, the history. I mean, from our phone call, this was truly a beyond amazing legacy you're carrying on and something the world has to know.
Yeah, so we're a
Yes.
true 1930s Prohibition recipe. So we use four ingredients: water, sugar, rye, and yeast. That's exactly what they used back in the day. Where nowadays they use different chemicals, alpha amyloids, anything that they can use to produce the alcohol. Where we actually do it exactly how they did it back in the day, where we feed the yeast with the sugar. So we use four ingredients: water, sugar, rye, and yeast. We have a special strain of yeast that we use throughout Carroll, where they're the only ones that can grow it for us, but it works the best for us, and they also are organic certified. So being organic certified, you have to go onto their field for over 4 years, that the federal government does, and they can test your soil anytime throughout that and make sure that you're using everything organic. So we've passed through that. So we're 100% certified organic.
So I just want to pause for a second because
Oh,
this is
no
actually
problem.
something I'm learning right now. This is
Yeah.
not an efficient, this is not a max cost efficient process. What you're describing, I just have to use a pun on your name
Yeah.
because
No
there's no
problem. Yeah.
chemicals, no chemicals. You're, I mean, this is prohibitively expensive, from my understanding,
Yeah,
to
everything
create.
has to be certified organic. So when they go on there, you can't use any pesticides. You can't use anything on their entire field. So they scheduled out a certain part of their field for us for their rye. So it's certified organic. And once it's done with that, the feds can go out there anytime and check it. So yeah, like you were saying, you can't just go out to a dirt field and check it. Yeah.
There's no, but what you said is that there's no chemicals, so the yeast is going to be, no matter what you do, is going to be less efficient on the sugar molecules.
Well,
The whole
the yeast
process,
is later on, but yeah.
what you described
But
over here, is a craft.
yeah, the rye is certified organic. Yeah.
And take it on. Wow. Okay, tell us more about this field, about what's going on over here. I mean,
So
you guys are.
they basically scheduled out 12 acres just for us, and they've kind of made it a little bit bigger, but it's on the exact same field that we used to use for that they used to grow the rye on for when it was Prohibition era, when they were doing
Whoa.
everything bootleg. So we were on the same field and everything and same rye. So that's our basic thing that we use, where we extract that rye and create our product today. So we're using the exact same thing that they used back then.
Don't tell me you're cutting it by hand as well. That
It's
would
a
be
little
too
different
intense.
process, but no, not really, yeah. I mean, we get the full grain rye in, and then, yeah, we process it. I can't tell you that part, that's a little bit of a secret. But we get the full grain rye, so it's just like cereal rye, where a lot of people use it as a cover crop during the off seasons, where it works great for us because they use that for cover crop, where we use that for our grain. So it kind of works great for their soil and for us. So
Okay, so
it works good out for the
most
farmers and for us. And
so can you expand a little bit about that? Because most people think liquor grows in the liquor shop. What does it mean a
yeah,
cover
I mean, I
crop?
guess people weren't used to Iowa farms too. Like, so yeah, you go your main crops where you grow beans or corn or anything. And then in the off seasons, you have to grow something to cover up your soil. So a lot of people use grain, and rye was one of the main ones that they used back in the day. So that's where a lot of people use that as cover crop to keep your soil clean. So during the off seasons, yeah, you keep growing that. It's going to reproduce your soil. To best my understanding, I'm just a distiller. I'm not a farmer. So I could be off on all this, but to that's my understanding. That's what I understand it as. They keep the cover crop, keep the soil clean, and that's what rye did back in the day. And then it actually became something that they could use to produce alcohol too. So it was a
Wow.
cover crop, turned into
So
basically
what's
something
a
that you
farm
could
like?
produce and create a product with that you could sell. But it was also back before anything could start.
Very interesting. What is a farm like out there? Is it like the New York Maine size farms where you can practically walking, or you probably need a car?
But you need a car in any farm out here in Iowa, yeah.
I mean, this is more than I thought. So you got the
Yeah,
farm,
but
they put out.
they also don't use their whole farm for it, like, it's just cover crop, so it's just certain parts, but these farms out here, yeah, you need something to drive around there. It's
There's
how
an old joke that a farmer in New York commented he was stuck in his car all day because it broke down, so he couldn't farm. So the farmer in Iowa says, "Same here. It takes me 12 hours to get from one side to the other." So that's how I knew your farms were not our size.
Oh, yeah, our farms are, yeah, way bigger, but
Super cool. Okay, so let's move on, and we got Iowa rye coming into the plant. Give us some more information on what's going on in the distillery, your bottles, history, and you running with the laws. People like action. So
well, along to the farms back in the day. So, I mean, our original start in the process and everything was going on to Lorene's farm back in the day, and they wanted to bootleg on our farm, and they had kids and everything, and they were like, "Nah, we don't want to do that." But they also ended up they had to pay for their farm and they had to pay for everything. So they eventually were like, "Yeah, we want to do this."
gotta make the
Well,
dough.
it kind of changed things too, where maybe Lorene got her kids went to school and she got bored. But anyways, Lorene became the kingpin of the whole operation. So she kind of created her baker's recipe, which we use today, where their big batch recipe, they made over 300 gallons a day. They were making about 75 bucks a day, which is big back then, but it didn't all go to them. It went to their workers and everything. So Lorene decided to make their side batch, where that's what we use today. Their baker's recipe is what we call it, which is the four ingredients: water, sugar, rye, and yeast, and that's it.
So can you tell us a little bit about this family, the legacy? This is super.
Yeah, so
It's
I mean, as
classified.
much
They're
as we
gonna dig
know,
up the
yeah, as much
graves.
as we know, yeah, Lorene was kind of the kingpin. Frank did all the side batch, so Lorene did all kind of the cooking, doing the batch, doing the rye. Frank did all the side batch, so he was doing all the shipping and everything. So one of the biggest things that they had was their problem was going up the sides of they were all on gravel roads back then. So they had to kind of chain up everything. So Frank's idea was chain up all the chains on everything and nobody here is coming up the sides of the roads. So that was kind of Frank's thing. Like he kind of thought of that and he was doing the shipping. So nobody could hear him going up the sides of the roads when they were doing their deliveries or anything. When dropping it off, he could just pull up there, drop it off, and get it done. Nobody hear those clinking chains or anything.
I mean, this is a whole different world of bootlegging than where I am, because bootlegging over here in Manhattan, New York, was all mafia.
Yeah.
You know, this guy's just needing a good drink.
Yeah.
Locals sharing with locals.
Oh
The
yeah,
sheriff
it's
probably
completely
placed an
different.
order.
Well, there's different stories of the sheriff too, where back in town, they in Templeton, where we're kind of part portrayed with that. There were the priests downtown, and they actually would let people know when the sheriffs were in town on bootlegging, where they would wear their hat sideways on certain days. And then you would know that somebody's in town.
Priests were in on it, guys.
Yeah, back in the day. I don't
Come,
know, but
coming for the congregation.
I they're helping people, but it was back in the day, so yeah, it was completely different than it is now. I can't see it he's doing
Love
that
it.
now, but back in the day, that's really cool. But
It's Tell me, it's Frank and what was her name again?
Lorraine,
Lorene.
Lorraine, yeah.
Are they buried on the farm? Because I know that was also a tradition for a time to be buried on their farms. I'm just wondering if that's where they're buried, on the farm where you're growing the rye.
No, them buried on there, yeah.
They're buried there? Or no?
I don't know if I can.
You don't know.
That's another thing I'll bring up. Where I'll bring that up. I can't say much about that because yeah, when I first started here, we had a few different bootleggers come here, and they would come in here and talk to allegedly my mentor Rich, which allegedly did everything for me. But we'd have a few people come here and tell stories, and then he'd be like, "You want to get that on record?" And they'd literally dip out the door immediately. And I was like, "So I
Oh,
can get their actual yeah."
so let's get it on record now. What they shared with
We
you.
would like to, but they all think that they're still gonna get in trouble, even though it's their ancestors getting in trouble. That's what I was getting into.
Good.
Where their parents are buried on different farms where they bootleg, where you can't say that, but and nobody knows except for the people that talk about it. But
The feds are gonna be grave robbing. Hey, get out of the grave, you ghost.
yeah.
I could just see a good waste of U.S. tax dollars over there.
Well, coolest part would be we weren't wasting tax dollars. It'd be cool to get the history of everybody in the history of the area, which is
Yeah.
what
So
I'd
what
be
else?
really
What else?
cool interested in.
Yes. What else? What else went on over there with it? You were the only distillery back in the day where they were competing farmers. Was this like a whole
There
industry?
was hundreds of
A cottage
so
farm,
yeah, our biggest
cottage.
thing was we were doing a so when Frank got on his deathbed, he told one of his daughters that he hid about 20 barrels out there on the distillery. So we kind of came up with a treasure hunt where we got people from cadaver dogs from Des Moines that are trained with the FBI. We also have LADAR that has been done with archaeologists. We try to figure out all that. We didn't figure out anything, but we're still looking for those barrels. But we ended up finding still that was found on on the old distillery that was filled with whiskey bottles and everything. So that's another
So
thing I'm tracing.
let's just break it down. Des Moines is in Iowa. It's the capital, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So the road trippers from there, they brought in cadavers and all kinds of search and rescue tools to find 20 barrels of Frank. He was your mentor?
Rich was my mentor, but
Rich,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So who Frank was, yeah, okay. I'm
Frank
following.
was a long. Yeah, he was the
Well,
original Lorraine's husband.
Lorraine's husband. He
Yeah,
must, when was this? When did he pass away?
yeah, so he left it to his daughters that they had no idea that there was any
When he,
bootlegging or anything. They were too young to even recognize it.
so he left this on his deathbed. When was that? In the 20s, in the 40s, the 50s,
No, this was
70s?
late 2019 something. Wrote.
Whoa. So he lived a long life.
Well, yeah, their kids are still living. Yeah, so we still
So
have their
he,
daughters and everything coming in here.
whoa, this isn't, guys, this is a treasure
He
hunt.
lived to
Just don't
his
get
90s.
arrested.
Yeah,
He was in his 90s?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And then his daughters also came back, and they're all still coming in and seeing everything.
Coming, checking out, having a swig.
Yeah.
Nice little shot over there. They must be fascinating to talk to.
Well, they're awesome. Yeah, they tell us different stories. Like one of their biggest ones of one of the daughters was they always knew that something was happening, but they could never go in one of their barns. They knew one of their barns was completely off limits. But then they had some yeast on their counter, or they had a bucket on their counter they could never touch. Never knew what it was. Well, once they talked to us, they found out it was the yeast that they kept growing. So their mom was that was the yeast that they kept growing for the entire time.
This sounds like sourdough. Is this like sour?
It's sort of like that, but for alcohol, basically the same thing. Yeah,
Yeah, it's, guys, just
it just keeps
absolutely
growing, but
fascinating.
you have to have the yeast extraction keep going the entire time, and then you pull it from one, then you pull it again, you pull it again. Yeah.
Do you have to
Yep.
feed it
Oh,
too? Are you
yeah.
feeding it?
You have to keep feeding. Yep.
How often does it go bad, the yeast? I mean, like, do you have a mishap they have to restart? Or
No,
it doesn't happen?
you shouldn't have it go bad. Really,
A
I've never
little
had it go
TLC.
bad. If you keep doing it the right way, you shouldn't have it go bad. But there's only uh, about 4 or 5 people that know how to do it the right way. It's-
That I agree with you. It's an art. How many? What do you feed it? Am I able to ask?
I can't tell you that honestly. That's one of our things I cannot tell you.
I
There's
know I was
only yeah,
stepping on eggshells. Guys, this is what's really cool. Okay?
I
Most
can tell you the
distilleries,
I can tell you the 4 ingredients. I just can't tell you how I grew up. But it's water, sugar, rye, and yeast, and that's it. But I can't tell you the rest of it.
so guys, just to break it down, Max, explain how important integral yeast is to the fermentation and to the taste. I know because if you go on to any website of any yeast website, they have 100,000 different yeasts. But most people don't know. So can you explain to everyone the craft and the art of it and
Well,
why it's so important?
yeah. I mean, basically 90% of our yeast is and how we do it is all natural. So we don't have any chemicals, no enzymes, no additives, where you're basically getting the heart of the whiskey only. And you're using 4 ingredients: water, sugar, rye, and yeast, and that's it. And you're getting the heart of the whiskey. So we don't use any of the heads. So when you cook it off on the still. Anything comes off, we don't reuse that. That's for a different podcast. We can do that for something else, but we don't reuse that. That gets all taken away for something else. And then the tails, once we get done with everything, we get rid of all that. We use a hearted whiskey only, and that's what we actually age or bottle or label, depending on what we're doing with the product.
Wow. And the influence of you using your own yeast on the actual product over using a bought yeast. That's what I think people miss, that yeast really adds flavor to a whiskey. It
Yeah,
makes it
you have to
unique.
use yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah, you have to use the right yeast or else you're not gonna get that same flavor mixed with the
Right.
rye.
So think about it when you're at home. If you take baker's yeast, or you take your mom at home has a particular yeast she sends you to the grocery store to buy, and when you buy the wrong one, she hits the roof. The reason is it changes the taste. Max is growing his own yeast. There's no way you could emulate or copy what he's doing by going on to what's it called, Star White Labs, and ordering his yeast. There's no White Lab yeast that can replace what Max is doing.
Yeah.
Is
I
that
do wanna clarify, we're using the same yeast that we think that they used back in the day, 100%. We just haven't created our own yeast yet, so we are using the same yeast that they used back in the day. I just wanna
Wait, it's a
clarify that.
continuation?
As
It's
much
just
as
the
we
same thing?
know, yes, but we aren't
Wow,
using our own yeast that we are making ourselves yet. We are looking at it in the future, but it's hasn't happened yet, but I just wanna
yeah.
clarify that.
Yeah, okay,
But
so back to our treasure hunt.
that's what we're looking for in the future is to create our own yeast to make it exactly like the Reen used to.
Okay, wow. Back to the treasure hunt, and we gotta get to the bottles behind you. So, everyone, where do we go for the treasure hunt? Are we scheduling one yet? What?
We're working on it. It's been years in the making. It's the same as any treasure hunt that you've looked on any line or anything. It's a lot of work and yeah,
You gotta crowdfund this, have millions of volunteers.
that would be awesome. Yeah. We're looking for it. We want to find those barrels, but
I mean, I could tell you to leverage this as a marketing opportunity, bringing everyone some bourbon.
no,
It's a fantastic bourbon, and have a treasure hunt. You'll get volunteers.
dude, it would be
Oh, no
awesome. Yeah.
problem. Oh
Yeah, it'd be
my,
awesome. Where maybe that's another
extremely fun.
marketing thing that you're talking about that we can promote. Yeah.
One day a year, guys, come with your metal detectors. I mean, they age it in barrels, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it
Drums
should
or
be.
barrels? Do we have any idea?
There should be. Oh, it was a long
What are
time
we
ago.
looking
So it
for?
should be they're barrels. Should be New American white oak barrels. So and with yeah the same strap. So they should be kind of easy to find. But
So,
if you know where they're at,
yeah, if you know, we have
if
famous
you know
last
where
words.
they're at, yeah,
Spread over 500 square miles, because the farms
yeah,
in Iowa are not the size of New Jersey or New York farms. Like, in my mind, it's like, what's the big deal? You gotta walk out. You got three acres. Go with a metal detector, and you'll find it. Not in Iowa. That's not a
yeah,
farm. That's called your pet. That's called your dog pen.
yeah.
So, I just what do you expect to find? Just the hoops, or possibly what's soil like for? They put in a cave. Did he give any details? I mean, this is
I mean,
intriguing.
our main thing that we want to find is product, but so if we can take that, we can extract the yeast and find exactly what they wanted. But I mean, that's the coolest part. But also, my part is I want to try what they made back and then. Like, I just want to try it. If there's a little sample in that barrel, I'll try it. I
I,
want to
I
see what
mean,
they made back in
I mean, my
Prohibition and
guess would
everything. Yeah, I want to see if it compares to what we tried. But our main thing is getting the yeast extraction and then going to a lab, and then they find out exactly what we used. Where we think we're about 99%, but we're not sure. So we just want to clarify.
my guess would be that Frank didn't bury it in a way that would disintegrate. Is that correct? I mean,
No,
it's
because it was an immediate burial where he had to get those out. Where he thought his farm was getting raided, so he
Ooh.
buried everything. And anyways, it happened to be his farm right next door where it was his uncle, Barney Sextro, that actually got raided. So that's where they were like, well, we already got buried and we're already out of it. And we got lucky that somebody else got raided. And they just kind of said, we're going to leave everything in the ground. That's as far as we know it from there.
Did they nail him? Did they get Barney? Did he have?
He was completely clean. No, no, he was completely clean. He was a perfect Catholic. Yeah, he was all clean. And he had nothing wrong. So they got lucky.
I was gonna say, look in the records of the history, sitting for his nephew as
Yeah,
a
oh, yeah.
crime,
You think
not radical.
well, definitely nowadays, they would have been like, "Oh, let's look at the nephew or something," but back then, it was pretty much you got one hint, you checked it out, and that was it. Like,
That
there
was
weren't
it.
all these different calls and, yeah, everything, so
Really
Lorraine was one of
fascinating.
the only people that has never been caught in the Templeton area.
Wow. How did she pull it off? She shared with the feds a few drinks.
I think she's just good at her craft. She was just kind of ahead of her time for her. Like, she, smoked cigarettes. She kinda did everything. Like, she was kind of her own woman, and she kinda was really smart for her time.
How was did it help that she was a woman? Meaning they were less suspicious?
It didn't really help that she was a woman. It was just she was ahead of her time as a woman, where she smoked cigarettes. She kinda did the whole operation. She drove cars. Like, she was just her own person and decided to go ahead of it and keep it up, and
So fascinating. Just did she ever share anything? Yeah, is there any like wild stories of her just really getting busted that she outwitted them?
nothing I know, really, other than the busted story and then Barney's, but nothing other than that, I'm not sure.
Anything left over in her pantry by her and Frank? Or they went, they died with the last shot.
Well, yeah, that was kinda Frank's deathbed when he said that he had, stuff hidden on there. He's kinda I would think that was his last shot, telling his daughters that there was stuff left on the farm that they could find, and they didn't really know much about the bootlegging.
So interesting that the children didn't know. And that's really what's so shocking to me. I mean, you pick up at some time. When did they must have been bootlegging moonshine in the 50s and 60s, if I'm dating myself correctly.
No, they were 20s and 30s.
So so it was literally a family history going back 100 something years.
Yeah.
Okay, and so when did you decide to restart? Tell us now about the more modern operation,
About the what?
more modern, recent operation. What's behind you? What's going on? Fill us in.
About well, it was about 8 years ago, one of bootlegging well, I gotta kinda start this over a little bit, but anyways, one of the grandsons of one of their of Lorraine, had a friend, and he kind of started bootlegging on his own, so he started kinda doing everything, and then for about 30 years, allegedly, illegally, he kinda did his own operation, and then somewhere along the way, his brother got brought in, and then I got brought in this. So he started his own thing where his wife told him, do it legal or don't come home. So that's when I kind of started on this. He kind of taught me on this.
Let's get this
But
one straight. The wife
this
said,
is
"Do it legal," and it's kind of being big. Do it
yeah,
legal or don't.
yeah, I'm saying it really small. I'm gonna get bigger a little bit later. So that's how I got brought into it. Like I'm doing what you asked. Yeah, how I got onto it. And I
But
thought it
the
was pretty
shocking,
small. Well, when I came on, he kind of told me, well, my brother did it for 4 years illegal, and then I got taught 20 years legal, and then he taught me. And then I was like, well, what else happened? And then pretty much his older brother, Doreen Sextro, which is Frank's wife. So they kind of started doing it. And then he didn't care, or she didn't care about her kids. So that's why she left the recipe for all them. And she left out a little pieces about it so they could never make it. But she didn't really care about her kid's best friend. So she taught him everything that she knew. And well, a little bit where she still was a bootlegger, where everybody in the time was a bootlegger. So she left about little bits of pieces for him too. So it's really confusing. But anyways, he finally went to her at the nursing home and said, "You're missing out bits and pieces." So she told him. So then he found that out and then told Rich, then told me. So and then Rich has also been a mentor the entire time.
wow, what a history!
It's kind of short
And that,
bits and pieces of it, but yeah.
and then you decide to set up right near the same farm where it always was. Like what? How? Just play out the whole thought process and what's going and how's it going? How are these family members? Their pride in it. You know, there's always a good fight about something, mom and dad. I don't know if you want to share that, but all of that, and even like the battle. You have a unique battle. All of that, like people love learning these things.
Yeah. Time. So they know everything that we've done out there.
Guys, it's a generational account. He's gonna
Yeah, we'll
soon tell you
talk. All right, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
The family, do they ever come? How do they interact with the modern day distillery, the legacy? We touched upon it early on the show, but let's hear who claims it is the family legacy. These are always the fun stories, and like who's designing your glass bottles? I see you have a unique shape. Is it also continuation? Fun facts. And do you have the old whiskey still that you dug up on display?
Oh, yeah, we definitely have the old whiskey still. And then we also have that was another cool thing with digging up the whiskey still. We have one of the walls that we dug up on out at the original farm where it was actually Frank's original name on there, but he spelled the name backwards when he was that's how all Germans did it, so it's spelled backwards with the F backwards, but you can see his whole name on there. And then also on that same wall, we can pick up the sunlight and you can shine up different things on there where you can see when they tallied up different portions of their like distilleries, where if you add like one parts of one to two parts of another, you can see that all in there when the sun hits it. And they just use it like a chalkboard. That's really cool. So we have that in our distillery.
I love the history. Let's go dig deep into it. Say hi. We got the little man here. He's listening.
Yeah. Yeah, so we kind of did all that. So we had both those walls.
Now, do you give tours? Who gives the tours? All that information. Let's get people in there because what type of whiskey still are you running? Let's get into to bringing people to you because you have such a true craft going on over here.
Oh yeah, we we definitely give tours. So yeah, give us a call or anything.
Crash Max, when he's hard at work under the whiskey, still actually making a brew, that's when you guys want to show up, okay?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Don't call ahead of time. They'll be prepared.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, let's check it out. Whoa, guys! And by the way, an impromptu tour like this is
these
exactly
are
what you want to see.
these are stills you won't see anywhere else actually in the entire world. You will never see any of these stills. These are our custom stills that we have patents pending on, and they're 100% our own stills. They're combination of a few different stills, so that's what makes them so special. It's kind of pot still, reflux still, got yeah.
Wait, you guys build those as well?
We have a yeah, we have somebody that builds them ourselves. Yeah, that's it. But where
I
they
mean,
look way different than any other still that you'll see on the market.
well, I see a beautiful pot right in front as well. So yes.
Yeah, there's different hoses, different things that you won't know what those go to, but we make things a little bit different. Yeah, you
So
definitely
fill
won't
us in
feel
about fill us in about the process because people now can see the process of your whiskey still. I mean, they're small, relatively speaking.
yeah, so pretty much in the mash still here, you're gonna get your mash. That's basically just your product, and that's what water, sugar, rye, and yeast. That's where you basically distill it. It's gonna go in there. It heats it up in here, it goes through here. Then you're getting it down through here, where this is actually gonna be what's gonna come off. Where I guess you distill it, your actual alcohol go through here, and then once you
Where
go through,
where do you take the measurement for the feds? You have the
that's what
tool to show
that's
everyone?
what she's getting into now. So yeah, so often here you're gonna turn off this. It's gonna take off that distill to the feds, like he was just talking about, and then you have the train bottle there where we have it marked where you have to take it off. Where there's 12 different chemicals there's 12 different chemicals that are gonna have to come off between 153 degrees and 173 degrees. That'll paralyze, blind you, or kill you. So we make sure that you get all those off. So we take off 4 times more than you're actually supposed to when we do
Whoa.
everything. And then we also don't reuse those. We use those for weed killer, ice melt, pretty much anything we can get rid of for. But it's
And you can't drink it, okay, guys? I know you
do
think you're
not
gonna go
drink it
get a
yet.
do not drink it. I love the guy that goes, "What? You could drink floor cleaner, because I tell them you can use it for floor cleaners. No, better off
Well,
drinking vanilla.
funny part is too, people are like, yeah, you can't do anything with that. Where we throw it down the floor, like ours is so natural, you can use it and you can just dump it down the floor. Like a lot of other places, you have so many chemicals that you can't do that. Where ours, you can just throw it away. Where
I
we
mean,
don't like to do that. We like to use it for anything we can. Like just get rid of it. Might as well. But if you needed to, you could actually throw it on the floor and it wouldn't mess up any of the fluorides or do it.
I see in the distance a huge amount of barrels. That's super. Are those full?
Oh, no. You can go back to those.
I'm gonna have to come visit you guys.
Dude, you should do a, yeah, definitely live tour or anything. No, these are all ones that we've emptied over here. These ones are all that are full that we're looking to sell, where we're pretty much already sold out. So people want to buy,
Wow.
pretty much sold out, but they can try.
So this is so just walking through people through a barrel room, okay? So if they're doing a bourbon, they need to use a brand new barrel, okay? That's also one of the reasons why I always feel that bourbon should be more expensive than scotch. Costs a lot more to produce because you have to buy a new barrel every single time. So we're not getting our fair slice of the pie. That's the first step that this is my I'm just letting go steam right now.
All
That's
right.
number one. Number two is then you gotta sell the barrels. You usually get about like $100 a barrel on a lucky day. When you pay like $600 for the back, it takes up warehouse space. It's a real pain to deal with. But that's a huge amount that you've emptied over there into bottles.
I have been trying to. Yeah.
So tell
We've been moving faster than we thought. Yeah.
Tell us about that process because I mean, your product should be. I'll just be fair with you. It sounds unbelievable and beyond. It's organic, it's clean, it's wholesome. You know, I always argue with people. They tell me when I distill it, so I'll have little flakes in the bottle or something, you know, a little black of the char. Like, well, I went to the liquor store and they were all crystal clear. And I said, yeah, and they all had caramel 150, whatever, and 16 times filtered and whatever chemicals. I said, every good distiller knows not every batch is going to be perfect, exactly the same. So tell me about your bottling process, what the flavor profiles are, who's coming, and then let everyone know about your private label program. Let's fill
Yeah.
everyone in. This is fun.
No, yeah. We're just gonna pull this up again, just show you.
Let's go. Make the sales pitch.
Yeah, if you want, I'm gonna be full open. This is our barreling operation. So it's our barreling thing. We do two at a time. We started over here where we clean everything. Then we go over here, we bottle everything. Yeah, we kind of do everything there, and then we go over here and we or bottle label everything. So we can do everything completely right here.
Are you labeling by hand?
Yes, 100% by hand.
You guys should throw a label party.
We thought about that. Yeah, we would love to do that.
Bring in the road tripping cruise.
Yeah, wish we had a bigger town, but yeah, we're in a smaller one. But yeah,
You know, listen, if you can make yourself a stop on a road trip, a treasure hunt, a corn maze or something, and just having fun. So behind you, all those different labels, are those all the same spirit in the bottle? Are you doing multiple different types of spirits? What else do you produce? Let
they're basically all the same spirits, just different type of labels. So if you buy a whole barrel of one spirit, so if you buy one of our black label whole barrels, where they're only 15 barrels, 17 bottles. If you buy that whole thing, you can custom label it and then create
how
your
many
own
miles
label.
in the barrel?
About 72.
72. So that's a small barrel. How many gallons?
Yeah,
Is that cask strength?
it's technically 16-gallon barrels, about 15 gallons of what you get from everything.
Wow. How long does it take to age? I mean, that should be like express aging.
Yeah, we are kind of express aging. We're 15-gallon barrels. So what anybody else does in 5 years, we do in about 2 years, maybe 2.5, depending on the product and depending on everything and the flavor and taste profile you want. We can
So you're mainly 15 gallons?
15 gallons, yes.
Wow. Okay. And your bottling is 750 ml.
Yep. So
Wow.
roughly get about 72 bottles a barrel, and depending on the proof that you want. I mean, if you want higher proof, you might get around 70 or 60. Sorry, but
Barrel strength. I
yeah,
mean,
or
this is a really unique operation. So using smaller barrels, I can't even begin to imagine what the price cost must be because as the barrels get bigger, and I just want to educate everyone out there on how truly special Max's operation is, because there's an incentive to use a larger barrel, because a larger barrel, say, would be $600, and a barrel half that size is not $300. A barrel half that size of a 53-gallon barrel or whatever, which is priced at say $600. The next size would be 450. So it doesn't halve. Okay, it's not like an equal formula. So it's just much more expensive spirit that Max is producing over here. It's fascinating. It must be beyond delicious. Is it what level char do you use?
I cannot say that. I'm sorry.
Woo! Ooh, he's
And
gonna.
then when
I'll tell you, he's toasting. He's not charring. That's what makes it so
I can't give
special.
you I can't give you a clear answer. I'll give you it's a heavy char, but I can't give you
Yeah,
what exactly it is. I'll
like,
give you it's
like
a heavy char.
they say, one man's heavy char is another man's light cigarette. So he didn't give anything away, Max. Okay,
All right,
I
but
love that. Okay, very cool. So now you go to the buying process. Where are you sold? What stores? Are you in different states?
we're just starting off with new ownership, so not sure yet.
I'm not sure yet. Are you kosher
But we're gonna
certified?
yeah, 100%, yeah.
Wow, who certifies you?
Been in about 2 or
I'll
3
check it out.
states. Yeah,
I'll check
we're
it out.
federally certified. Definitely, we're just getting everything
Wow,
started.
I'm loving this your operation. It is so cool,
Yeah,
guys. This
we're gonna be in, Iowa, Nebraska, New Jersey, Nevada, New
New
York,
Jersey,
Connecticut.
New York, New
Yeah.
Jersey. We're the Under Armour of the world. Why would you ever come
Yeah,
to us?
that's our main places we're trying for right now.
New Jersey, where you're bound to regret doing business with us. I'm not doing a sales pitch for my home state, okay? Downright misery. New York is great legal system for alcohol. Unbelievable. I'm just not going to sing the praises of New Jersey when there's no praises to sing. So New York's easy. Have you tried hard on New York? It's
I
just
think it's probably
competitive.
different than what you're thinking with alcohol. Alcohol's so difficult, but yeah, we definitely want to be there if we can. Yeah.
New York. I'm not a fan of New Jersey, but hey, some people love the state. Okay, guys, I love New Jersey. I don't want the feds knocking on my door shortly with an excuse. New Jersey is a great state for business, the most business friendly state out there. If you knock out 49 before us, anyways. Oh, laying out steam hot on the air. Okay, back to Iowa. Let's wrap this up.
Okay.
Wow. So you just rye.
Yeah.
So you guys really know rye.
Oh yeah.
It's you're not you know some distilleries, and I'm not gonna knock anyone because sometimes they really got it all well, but some do everything and are masters of none. Have you ever?
Yeah. I mean,
You're master of one.
yeah. I can say one story if you want.
Yeah, go for it. We love
We
stories.
had this tour that was coming in. It was a friend of ours that had been here like 2 or 3 times, and it was from a local Hy-Vee, and he was coming here with his employees, and they finally came here with their third time, and one of their employees was like, "I wasn't going to come here." He goes, "I couldn't believe this when I came to your distillery." He goes, "I thought there was just going to be exactly the same distillery I went to every time. There was just going to be a bunch of 40-year-olds pushing buttons." He goes, "I came here and you actually have a distillery and you guys actually do stuff and you guys aren't just a 40-year-old person pushing buttons." He goes, "I'm so glad that I came to here." He goes, "I was completely going to cancel it out." And he came here and he said he loved it. And he goes, "This is completely different than any distillery that I was going to come visit." And I was like, "I hate to say it, but can I share that story?" And he said yes. And I was like, "Man, I want to share it with everybody because we're completely different than anybody else. We're true prohibition. We're 4 ingredients, water, sugar, rye, and yeast. We do it exactly how they did it, and we're proud to do it every day the way that we were taught."
Max's Distillery. I love it. Are you able to take people on real tours and show them around?
Yes, if they give us a call or anything, yeah, 100%. We can give them a
So
tour
you
anytime they want. Yeah.
you're not like in New York. We don't really give tours because of insurance related issues.
No,
And I
we
wasn't.
can do anything. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, guys, wrapping it up. Max, last words. This was beyond eye opening. Basically, showing up, Max. Show up
No,
on Max.
I appreciate you and let me share our story with everybody else.
We're gonna keep on pushing it because I love your distillery, and if I'm on the road,
Yep.
I'm headed towards you.
Oh,
Thank
definitely.
you.
We would love to have you. I appreciate it.
Yes, hold with.